Let's do the newspapers. We'll start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper because it is the graphic on the daily front page of the Daily Graphic. Police reshuffle command. So the COP Dr. George Ekofo Dampare, COP Christian Tete Yohonu, COP Reverend David Nenyi Ampa Benin, and DCOP Simon Afeku. The changes have come and they have come to stay. We'll figure out how long this will be. Also on the front page, Ghana records 1 Lassa fever death. That was in our news. Heavy military deployment underway to combat crime. And we're having this conversation on the show today. If you've spotted this joint military police, please take a photo, send it to our WhatsApp line, or when we activate the phone lines, report what you have monitored to us. We are all talking about this issue of security today. That story is on page 20, but a bit on page 3. It says the Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asantia P2, has made changes in the command structure of the Ghana Police Service. No reasons have been assigned for the changes, but operational realignments in the wake of the recent spate of armed robbery and the effort by the IGP to contain the situation could be possible underlying factor. So we'll go into some analysis later this morning on page 20 though, which is very much related. Story says that following the increasing spate of armed robberies in parts of the country, the government has announced a number of measures to combat crime and deal with criminals. The program entails the deployment of heavy military and police presence in major cities across the country, according to the Information Minister, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. So we will also get into exactly what this means and share it with everybody else. But like I said, if you've spotted them in your community, please let us know. They are not, because the robberies that have come, it hasn't been at night. So I don't expect this force to be working only at night. We need them to be working, you know, like 24 hours, really.
I'm talking about that just yesterday, late into the night, I saw one of those patrols made up of both the police and the military. Just around the Tema area. And that was a good thing.
Nice.
And that was a good
but
thing.
We should also have access, I mean, apart from the main phone lines that you can call to get the police, can we also get like a patrol lines?
Well, the thing is that the 18555 is the best line that you can ever have, because it's managed by a core group of people in a big room and all that. So it's the best, like almost like the best call center that is automated, tracks, etc. So it's the best call center number you can ever have.
There's a police station in your area.
Yeah.
Do you have the contact number to that police post?
I don't.
I don't.
Because a year and a half ago, when I had the armed robbery incident, they told me I should take photograph and repack my stuff, and that the next morning they'll come. So they're as useless as they can be. I mean, that's the point. Because if they couldn't do anything, I don't know when I have the next incident. Because before my time, there were 9 armed robberies that took place the same time. No neighbor could help each other. And for 25 minutes, the armed robbers had a field day, and Farouk can even, So, I mean, there's a police post. So they don't have a car though, so I don't know what they can do. But when you're making an entry into my area, we have, I think, a dispatch of personnel from Ashaiman and Tema. They come in and they are there constantly to 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. So that's a good thing. And they come. They used to come from 8. Now they come from 7 also. So
you know, the thing is, if you had like a direct contact to that patrol team, if anything was happening, you could just directly call them.
I have friends among so I have but I think at the time I called, the 2 friends I have didn't answer immediately.
But the point too is that can every person in the community have direct access and be calling? That's impossible.
And it's also because it's me, so usually you fraternize and you do all that. And I think it's something also we should be doing. While the police are in there, you as an inhabitant, you have to fraternize with the police, get to know them, because it's supposed to be a public-civil relationship or a public police relationship. You fraternize, you get the numbers, you get to have some good time with them, and I believe familiarity creates a lot more positive responses when you have difficulties.
Well,
they're not really like your friends, but they become acquaintances over time.
True. Quickly, let's look at what's on the back page of the Daily Graphic. We'll move to the Times in a bit. Back page of the Graphic on wholesome Fandango ice cream destroyed in Tema. It says about 12,800 pieces of expired Fandango, a frozen ice cream product, were yesterday destroyed by officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority in Tema. The products, which were imported from neighboring Nigeria in a 40-footer container by Fan Milk Ghana Limited, producers of frozen fruits-based ice cream, were found to have expired on December 28, 2017. The duty payable on the cargo was a little over 4,000 Ghana cedis, while the total value of the cargo was a little over 21,000 Ghana cedis. 28th of December 2017. We are in March.
Fandango.
I'm worried.
Fandango.
I'm worried.
I thought it was
mixed
here in Ghana. I thought.
Yeah. Apparently, we import a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then free zone enclaves to be established in all regions, according to a deputy trades minister. You can check out the stories on the back page of the Daily Graphic. Roland?
Okay, so let's do the Ghanaian Times. On the front page, that big shake-up in the top hierarchy of the Ghana Police Service is dominating the front page of the Ghanaian Times. So we have COP's Dr. Dampare. Good morning to you, though, Dr. Dampare.
He's a great man, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know what went wrong, but if something did go wrong, I hope that we've tackled it well. We're not only sacrificing the easy ones, but we can do. How about CID? Like, is CID not involved?
Yes, because you're supposed to gather intelligence, right?
Of course. Operations, you don't work in isolation.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
apart from the tools, you need the intelligence as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's, if you're making Mr. Dampare go, I think we should have seen broader changes at the top from the various heads as well. It's not, the operation doesn't stand alone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we have COP's Dr. Dampare, Christian Yohuno, Kofi Boache reshuffled.
Where's he gone to?
He
was at PIPS.
Yes,
he still is at PIPS.
I think he's still at PIPS.
He's still at PIPS.
And yesterday I was saying, I said on my Facebook page that we're doing.
You Kofi Boache back?
Yeah, but we're doing the shuffling, but we're not putting the right pegs in the right hole, so to speak.
We'll see.
That was just an opinion.
Because Mr. Afeku is coming now as Director of Operations, so we'll see what he brings to the job as well.
Sometimes shake-ups, sometimes teams sack coaches and players and do all things just to make sure that they bring some vibrancy in there. So that story is dominating the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Is on page 16 of the paper. You can also get a little more related stories. We have military police to patrol major cities across the country. Mamavi brought to you what the details were as they were published in the Daily Graphic. But the GRA grants 3 months tax stamp amnesty, and the expert on it on the show is Mamavi. Mamavi, 3 months. You think it's enough?
Well, 3 months is what? March, April, May, June.
Yeah.
Aha.
So we're March.
We're March. Gutta was pushing this whole give us a little time so you can do a bit of education.
But does that solve the problem of whether they have the facilities or the equipment to affix the stamps at the manufacturing line or in the manufacturing line? Well, I think that's a main problem for many of them.
But essentially, government wants to get these companies to be absolutely accountable. So you have to account for every bottle of water, for every bottle of drink that passes through that factory of yours.
Do they hide some of the figures or something?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think yesterday we talked about the fact that we have GRA officers in some of these companies also checking. But I'm told that's temporary. It was a temporal arrangement, and that this law has been in our books since 2013, and so by now we should be ready.
To be accountable. Every bottle. I can just
every
imagine.
Sachet as well.
I should work with the GRA and be stationed in one of those companies like Casapreco or Akrabiru. Just be stationed there, the bottles.
What do you think they will do to you?
Oh, we'll talk well. Ghana Health Service confirms one Lassa fever death. It's on page 17 of the paper. And we know, Mama, we started getting all these graphics on social media about Lassa fever. I thought it was far away until yesterday when I heard that somebody apparently had died.
Yeah.
Close to where I live, Tema. And I said, well.
Yeah.
And knowing Tema General Hospital very well, And I was reading this morning, there's apparently there's an isolation unit. I said to my general hospital.
Maybe they created one. They've just created it because of this incident.
Anyway, God help us all. So we have on the back page though, construction works on BRT terminal begin at Tudu. Is a good thing, only if we're going to implement it. So I remember it was during the reign of President John Ejiokom Kufuor this initiative started. We've had it in Lagos, Curitiba, in Peru. We've had it in a number of countries. Elsewhere in Europe, it's a standard thing. Exclusive lanes, special buses, takes you rapidly to your destinations. You have special services, etc. We tried implementing it, and for over 10 years, we've not been successful. I don't know when we can. Africa, that's our problem. But we have more. Still one more story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Workshop on organic system of food production underway in Accra. And we're all worried about organic foods, etc. But please grab a copy of the Ghanaian Times, get to the back page, and you get to know more about what has been taking place on organic system and food production that has been under the discussion radar in Accra. Okay.
From the Times, we move over to the Finder, and then we'll come to the Daily Guide and finish up with the Business and Financial Times. First, the Finder front page. Scrap boarding system. Here's one for a national conversation. And it is Professor Ama Ata
if we will make it a national conversation.
Who is a former education minister. She's calling for the scrapping of the boarding system. She says it is not sustainable. She simply says, if you go ahead to read the story here by Elvis Darko, that we can't simply afford, and we've been lying to ourselves. It's so expensive, we cannot manage it. So that's the story here. She says Ghana has never been able to afford boarding as a major component of its state-owned education system. We cannot afford it, and not wanting to admit this puts us in some danger, on quotes. And according to her, since state-owned education was introduced over 1,000 years ago in some countries, no nation on earth has considered boarding as a necessary component of it. So that fact covers, and here's a quote from her, that fact covers the most populous, the richest, and the most powerful nations on our planet, like China, Japan, the US, and Russia. In those countries and almost everywhere else, secondary education covers between 90% and 95% of the population. It is day and it is free. Yeah.
And you know, in many of those countries that she mentioned, and I read that article, the boarding schools are for the very rich people.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot of boarding schools. So if somebody went to a boarding school, it means that person come from a certain class.
They call them private schools, don't
they? Because the tuition, apart from just normal tuition, you get music lessons, you get to have special education, you know, that kind of thing. So, but as Charlie, but yesterday when I read, I kept wondering, so what will happen to Infantipim school? Only those in Cape Coast can attend, but that's not fair. that would be so unfair. But it's up for conversation for which we have to debate. I hope that we put this. I don't think this will see fruition. It will be a good idea though, so that
our politicians won't listen. That's for
so
sure.
That we have the best brains all living in the communities, and the parents also become more responsible.
Let's check out the other stories on the front page of the Finder. Joint police military patrols activated according to governments. Labor market data key to addressing joblessness according to an expert. You can read about it. Lassa fever kills one at Tema General Hospital. And then 24-year-old robber accomplice arrested with guns. A bit about that. It says the police have arrested 2 suspected armed robbers in 2 separate raids. One of the suspect, Mohammed Idrisu Ziblim, 24, was arrested on his way back from a robbery operation. Some items retrieved from the 2 suspects include 2 pistols, 1 G3 rifle, 15 rounds of ammunition, 2 face masks, 2 pairs of hand gloves, a pair of scissors, a machete, 5 mobile phones, and a bag. And according to the police, several of such robbers who have been arrested since Monday are currently undergoing screening. And the police has given some assurance. You can read the rest of that story here on page 6. It's very scary these days. And
yesterday I was asking a question on my wall that these guns are not imported. by corporate institutions like MTN, multimedia, etc. They're imported by security agencies. So if they find themselves in the hands or in the cash of private citizens, how come they got there? Because you can't tell me that these number of arms we have all been smuggled into the system.
Yeah.
It cannot be possible.
True.
Some will be smuggled, but a lot more of them are in the armory of the security services.
True.
How did they get into the hands of private citizens?
True.
Kafugbe, G3, AK-47. Anyway.
True. Yeah. And there's a whole other angle to this conversation. So apparently there are people in the police service in particular who have upgraded themselves. So either gotten a degree or gotten other qualifications that they need to be upgraded within the service. And I understand from the information that I got reliably that they are rather bringing people from outside. So there are people within who
have the requisites and feel...
But they are just still where they are, receiving, so they're not...
That's demotivating.
Exactly. So there are a lot of people who are just sitting down and folding their arms because nothing is happening. And that is not right. One of the other things is for you to motivate the police officers who go out there and face these people, these bad people.
One time, I met a corporal. At the time he was a corporal, I think now a sergeant. He had masters from the Kofi Annan, and he was a sergeant on the road. And he said he'd applied.
Yeah.
He said he's there. People will go to be commissioned and officers. He's been there in the service. He's gone through the
And
ranks.
I think what is most painful, what is most painful is for you to go through the process like this, upgrade yourself, do extra, pay the fees, and learn and everything. And then they'll bring somebody from outside, somebody who has not been in the force at all, and bring that person to come and be like a boss over you.
Well, they'll tell you that you never told them you have systems by which you upgrade yourself. So if you...
But that should be... It should be everywhere. You need systems so that people can... If I'm upgrading myself personally, I should see that change reflects.
The service should even be happy that you are spending your own money to upgrade yourself.
Exactly. So we're talking about this whole, and we're making reshuffles and things like that, but the police officers must be motivated. And when we talk about motivation, it shouldn't just be in the terms like we know it. People must see themselves climb up the ladder. That's the only way they can be really passionate about what they do.
That's why I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump should be president of the Republic of Ghana for only 4 years.
You can do a joint patrol for all you want. You can put military men and policemen together. If those men are not motivated enough, if they are not passionate about what they're doing, it will be useless. We'll come back to ground zero. I hope that somebody's listening, at least from the very top. Yeah. Let's do the daily guide.
Yeah. You should have relatives in the Ghana Police Service.
I do.
Because today the advocacy is high for both of us. Daily Guide, we have on the front page of the Daily Guide, Amidu gets set with Woyume. And then we have Mark Otley swerves customers. Mark Otley Capital, is that it? Okay.
Mark Otley Investment, is that it?
Yes, and police see sophisticated weapons. But let's look at the Mark Otley story. Mark Otley Investment, Mark Otley swerves. I'm trying to get Macaulay. The thing has been here. Okay. It says that business guy has learned that management of Macaulay Money Lending Limited, a subsidiary of the Macaulay Group, is allegedly playing a hide-and-seek game with its customers, particularly those whose interest payments are due. Information available to this paper also indicates that the situation has persisted for some time now, and all efforts by affected customers to reach management of the institution for their payments had failed. Anyway, I don't know whether they will promise high interest rates. But so we have all the story. But let's go to the center spread of the Daily Guide newspaper. It's a news one pull out. It has there, Mami Sewa grabs 5-year juicy deal. And apparently the actress Mami Sewa has penned a 5-year juicy deal with Sylvanos Records to manage a career to the next level. Full details of the deal were not disclosed, but it comes with a house somewhere in Accra and a car. She must be big there.
The industry is growing.
Yes, it's true. It's true. We have Diamond Platinum Songs band in Tanzania. And then we're told that songs are Hallelujah and Waka Waka. But apparently the videos contain suggestive dancing and sexual innuendo. And I want to die on stage, Amanziba Natbro, and I dated David Donto for 4 years, Mame Dokono. Talent Hunt for Needy and Orphans. So those are the stories basically we have in the Daily Guide newspaper.
Okay.